All right, so we got another ice cream machine drama day. So they said it's going into night mode. Night mode, I've talked about in other videos. Night mode is like the check engine light. So whenever something goes wrong, it'll shut the unit down so that it doesn't do any damage. So not only is it night mode, but it's going to cycle through and tell you what's the problem. Here just a second ago, pardon me. Compressor high PSI. So high pressure on the right barrel. Let's go into a little secret menu here. That's the hidden button right there. Operator menu. Let's go to error log. And it's just going to confirm right compressor high PSI. Yep, look at that. Right compressor, right compressor, right compressor, right compressor. Okay. Right compressor low PSI. That's weird. All right, well, let's focus on the high. So that's the, this is a remote condensing unit, so that's on the roof. So let's go get eyes on what that looks like up there. And then we're gonna have to split up because that compressor only starts. So to clear night mode, you have to turn the unit off, turn it back on, clean, boom, boom. Right, so now everything's on. But when we pull this handle, the compressor is going to come on up top and the fan's going to run. So it's going to be a two-person job while we're on the phone. One person down here triggering it, the other up there. So let's go look at what we look like up top. Welcome to the roof. All right, so we got 4 condensers here, and how they're supposed to work is that you have a condenser for each barrel. So the way the machines are oriented downstairs are this way. So those 2 are for the left machine, left barrel, right barrel, and those 2 are for the right machine. But we're up here, and this condensing unit keeps running, and that one never does. So I went downstairs and left my partner up here, and when I pulled the left barrel, this unit ran, and when I pulled the right barrel, this unit ran. So it's fine, they just crossed. It's not a Freon issue. The line set matches the electronics, which I only say that because when they first installed this, when the manufacturer sent their installer, they actually had it reversed, where the line set for this one ran to the electronics of that one. So you would pull this handle and the Freon would run in the other unit. It was ridiculous. So they fixed that, but it's fine, other than we just had to establish this is the unit we're working on. And it just won't send power upstairs. So I was thinking there would be a fan cycle control or something up here. There's not. So now we got to go get back into the unit downstairs. All right, so inside of the unit, I'll talk about this mess in a minute. Let's address the fan issue. This is on each side. I'm happy to admit that I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know. So my assumption was that this was a fan cycle control. Again, kudos to Electrofreeze. On this label, you're not going to be able to read it. It says, maybe you will, it says fan control. Fan control. So we are correct. This is the fan cycle control. So this is breaking a leg of power. So what we need to do is, I need to put my meter on one side to ground and fire it up and see where we've got 120, and then put it on the other side, and I'm gonna bet we don't have 120. Then the question will be, is it because we legitimately don't have the correct pressure in there to run, right? Or is it because this has failed? So let me get the meter, and then we will move to the next. All right, I called tech support. Tech support saved me a bunch of time from having to make sense of that wiring schematic. And they told me that 9M is running my compressor and my fan. We verified that by pulsing it and watching the compressor come on. He then said terminal 2 and 4 are what's powering my fan. Terminal 2, we checked and we had 120 volts at both sides, 208 across. So terminal 2 runs into the high pressure cycle control. We measured, we had 120 in, we had 120 out. That wasn't our problem. Tech support said it then runs from there down into this junction box. So This junction box has terminal 2 was the black wire that was running into this junction, which actually was a wire nut. We replaced it with my lever nuts. And terminal 4 runs straight to here, running upstairs. So we just put our meter in these, fired it up, and we had 208 across it. So that means our problem isn't down here. We had 208 at the board, 110 comes straight down, 110 breaks through the fan cycle control and comes down, and when I put measure across it, I got 208. So now our problem is 100% somewhere between this wire that leaves here, this one that leaves here, and the roof. Now we gotta go back to the roof. Good. Okay, so on the roof, we exposed the leads coming up to the fan. They both run, both fans run on one line of 208. So I went downstairs, pulled the trigger, he got 208. The fans weren't running, he had 205, 208. Then he started hollering, hey, there's smoke. And they said this motor started smoking and you can smell it. So I wonder if we didn't have a wire that wasn't, there was a wire nut downstairs. We'll see if it's still down there. The red wire downstairs was sketchy. When I went to take the nut off, it basically just fell right off and it looked like there was a little burn mark inside. So I wonder if it wasn't making sketchy contact. It was making sketchy contact on and off, and that intermittent voltage burnt out the motors. Because for them both to be dead, it's really, really odd. But yeah, 100%. Now we need 2 motors. Boy. Howdy. Yeah, so I mean, this motor looks terrible. But yeah, so get a part number. Get with your local supplier. Get with Amazon, United Refrigeration. Shout out, they're my boys. And we'll find out where we can get this motor quick. All right, I wanted to show you. So this is one of those connections I replaced the red wire running from terminal 4. I don't know if you can see in there, it's all burnt. See the burn marks? The wire's burnt. I really think that red wire was just barely in there. When I turned the wire nut, it fell out. I think that broke connection, then you got intermittent 120 and we burnt out the motors. So it's gonna be a very expensive repair for those 2 motors over a stupid burnt wire. Boo. But we found it.